Welcome to another episode of China Update, where I provide you guys with the most up-to-date political, economic and geostrategic analysis on the world's number 2 economy. My name is Tony. Let's jump in. Okay, happy Monday everybody. The situation in the massive Foxconn work campus in Henan Province's provincial capital, Zhengzhou, home, if we can stretch the definition of that word, of between 200 and 300,000 workers, has further deteriorated over the last 24 hours. The Foxconn work campus has been in closed-loop management for well over a week in order to keep production going in the face of local infections, but appears to have experienced a surge in cases this week. The Taiwan-based iPhone maker has not disclosed the number of infected workers, but said on yesterday, that it would not stop workers from leaving. There are concerns now that large numbers of workers leaving the work campus will carry COVID to nearby cities and regions, spreading outbreaks and the resulting lockdowns. In a statement, the company expressed on Sunday, quote, "At the same time, for some employees who want to return home, the plant is cooperating with the government to organize personnel and vehicles to provide a point-to-point orderly return service for employees from today." End quote. Accusations of bad treatment and dishonesty regarding campus conditions, case numbers and other salient information from workers on social media are building a PR problem for Foxconn and by extension Apple. And in China, PR problems can quickly become political problems. At one point this week, only workers on production lines were given meal boxes to eat, with those infected or too frightened to leave their company-provided dormitories on campus only provided with basic provisions like bread and instant noodles. Some have questioned how free workers actually are to leave too. Reports claim that many workers, tens of thousands, are trying to escape the bad living conditions and hastily enacted COVID-19 measures of the Foxconn facilities. There are even unverified reports of people scaling fences to get out of the compounds. Photographs and videos circulating on Chinese social media since Saturday show Foxconn workers apparently returning home, walking across fields and along roads at night. Some Chinese netizens, shocked by the images, complained online that they looked like refugees in their own country. Workers trying to leave the plant over the weekend for their hometowns have already driven cities to hastily draw up plans to accommodate them and the risk of COVID that they bring. As of today, Monday, at least 6 counties and cities in Henan province alone have asked residents who just left Foxconn to contact local authorities before going home. The provincial government announced today that workers will require several days of mandatory isolation. This mess is obviously taking a large human toll, particularly on these workers. But of course, we need to discuss the economic costs more broadly as well. This massive Foxconn campus is Apple's biggest iPhone manufacturing supplier. UK-based Reuters reports today in an exclusive report that the disruptions at this site could slash its November iPhone shipments by up to 30%. And of course, this is a critical time for Apple as they prepare for their most popular selling season. A source, which Reuters claims has direct knowledge of the matter, said Foxconn is working to boost iPhone production at its factory in the southern city of Shenzhen, though this facility is much smaller. Shares in Foxconn dropped 1.9% in Monday trading today, compared to a 1.1% rise in the broader market. And of course, this will be causing many headaches for Apple, of which some executives this week may be asking themselves just how reliable are their mainland-based supply chains and manufacturing centers in the face of ongoing zero-COVID measures. Next up, let's look at the Chinese currency. Late last week, the Basel-based Bank for International Settlements published its once in 3 years central bank survey. According to the report, the Chinese currency, the Yuan, has become the world's 5th most traded currency, jumping from 8th place past the Australian, Canadian and Swiss currencies versus 3 years ago. Unsurprisingly, the US dollar maintained its top position, being involved in one side of nearly 90% of all trades in global foreign exchange turnover in 2022, while the euro's share declined slightly to around 31%. Because this is measuring trade, which is two-sided, these are all out of 200, not 100. The Japanese yen and the British pound sterling are also in the top 5. Trading in the Chinese yuan increased to account for 7%, up from 4% in 2019. The report expressed that an uptick in inter-dealer trading reflects the elevated volatility in currency markets this year, writing, quote, "During such periods, inventory imbalances arising from trades with customers are more difficult to manage, creating the need to more frequently offload them in the inter-dealer market." End quote. We should note that the use of the yuan is largely dominated by cross-border trade. Also this year, Russian businesses are also settling more trade in the Chinese currency as they face sanctions. We remember in September, Russian gas titan Gazprom and China National Petroleum Corp signed a natural gas supply agreement in which the payments would be made half in rubles and half in the Chinese RMB or yuan. Sino-Russian bilateral trade surged in Q3, according to official data, driven by trade in oil and gas. Climbing international usage of the RMB demonstrates that Beijing's push for greater global use of its currency has been gaining some international traction. Yet, still, for such a large economy and trading nation, 7% in global foreign exchange turnover remains modest. Meanwhile, over the weekend, People's Bank of China, China's central bank governor, Yi Gang, signaled that China will continue with its prudent monetary policy in order to keep the value of the RMB stable, expressing, quote, "China has the conditions to maintain conventional monetary policy for as long as possible, safeguarding the stability of its currency's value." End quote. We remember that in the last few months, the Chinese yuan has been declining versus the US dollar. The statement was made while the central bank governor was delivering a report on China's financial development. Yi added that the central bank's next steps include, quote, "further increasing credit support for the real economy, strengthening and improving financial supervision, and actively and steadily preventing and resolving financial risks." End quote. He also expressed that the People's Bank of China will continue to promote policies related to its digital currency. Hey guys, if you like China Update and you like what I'm trying to do here with the channel and you'd like to help keep it sustainable, Patreon and Buy Me a Coffee links are in the description below. This is the best way to help me continue getting these episodes out for you guys every day and keep the channel subscriber supported primarily rather than entirely dependent on corporate sponsorship. If you're enjoying this video in particular, don't forget to hit that like button, and as always, thank you so much everybody for the ongoing support. Okay, next up, over the weekend, Chinese state media claimed in several reports that China has completed a test at a so-called super-speed electromagnetic test facility, quote, "for the development of fighter jet catapults, maglev trains, space launches, and other advanced technologies," end quote. The new facility, developed by the Chinese Academy of Sciences Institute for Electrical Engineering, is in Jinan, provincial capital of eastern China's Shandong province, established for both civilian and military testing of aerial or super-speed ground equipment. The ultra-advanced facilities started operations last December. Chinese state TV broadcaster CCTV trumpeted a recent operational test which successfully saw a device accelerate more than 1 ton of weight to a speed of 1,030 kilometers per hour, 640 miles per hour. This represents a new world record. Quote, "5 key technologies involved in the test, such as high thrust, high speed, linear motors, and 100 megawatt wide frequency inverter power supply, have also reached world-leading levels. This project is of great significance in supporting the rapid development of advanced heavyweight, ultra-high-speed equipment in China." End quote. Hong Kong-based South China Morning Post writes yesterday, Sunday, that China's electromagnetic propulsion technologies and equipment have, quote, "made significant advances in recent years," end quote. It gives the examples of a railgun, which propels shells with electromagnetic force, and the domestically built aircraft carrier Fujian, launched in June of this year, which was fitted with electromagnetic catapults to launch fighter jets. Only American USS General R. Ford-class warships also boast this advanced system. The new Shandong facility will also be used by Chinese scientists developing electromagnetic launch systems for space missions, hoping to replace the first stage of a vehicle rocket with an electromagnetic catapult, as well as the development of domestically produced high-speed maglev networks. We note that the Shanghai maglev line, China's only ultra-fast line of its kind, was designed and built with German plans and imported German technology. China has also expressed its intention to produce and build domestically developed maglev line systems in major economic hubs in the country, especially in the Yangtze and Pearl River deltas. Currently, we only have state media reports of early breakthroughs at this new facility. In order to judge the details of the technology, we will have to wait for international demonstrations of the technology at some future date. Okay, that is today's episode of China Update. Thank you so much everybody for watching. I will see you all tomorrow.